Check out this Social Security fix. I haven't heard anyone talk about this yet. I'd be interested to see if anyone has any guidance or idea of other people who have made this suggestion. And this is not a one fix, won't fix the whole thing, I guarantee you. But it'll take a step in the right direction for sure. And remember, Social Security is going to be fixed. It has to be, because it is the default retirement program for every American. That's just a fact. Well, 95%. So it is bankrupt. And it will be fixed. These two things are 100% correct. The question is how they're going to do it. And they got to do it fast. That's, we got 10 years of even that. So this is, I'm not worried about it all. They're not going to cut benefits, but how the benefits are funded is a cause for concern, because if liberals take charge again, that could be bad. So the Republicans need to start throwing some solutions out there as opposed to just saying no taxes ever. Anyway, so check this out. So I'm reading James Paterba's article right here, or white paper from MIT. This is dated 2014. All right, you can see right here, May 2014. And this right here, this chart is wrong, is incorrect, even though he's from MIT, Josh. He knows more than you because you're just a guy in your t-shirt and your bun shaved, blah, 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 blah. Well, he's wrong here, and he actually cites that it could be incorrect, but he still lets it go out there into the ether. And I'm like, why did you do that? If you know there could be some issues on it, I don't understand why you use this, because 11 years later, we still got some fools using this data as if it's sacrosanct just because it's some dude from MIT. Because how dare you challenge a guy from MIT? Ugh. I'm like, don't you know who Jonathan Gruber was? An economist from MIT. He got Obamacare through because he had to rely on the stupidity of the American people. His words, not mine. Idiots. But we're still going to use this. So check this out. We see percentage of total income from, and again, this is in 2013 current population numbers. We know that's wrong, just FYI, but it still gives us something to chomp our teeth on. Percentage of total income for the bottom of three quartiles of income. Social Security provided more than 50% of the total income for the bottom three quartiles, all right? The highest quartile, though, less than a fifth of the income was from Social Security. And this is for people who are 65 and above. Just keep that in mind. The highest quartile, the highest 25%, they got the bulk of their income from earnings. Remember, these are people over 65. They got the bulk of their income from earnings. Isn't that interesting? So what does that tell us? So I went to look back here. Check this out. If I can find it, hang tight. So I asked Grok, I said, in 2024, what is the income breakdown for Americans over 65 in terms of Social Security, earnings, assets, and other sources? And then Grok came back with this. Very interesting. Social Security accounts for just over half of total income, approximately just about 57% in 2017. The average, okay, right here. So we're saying right here, Social Security about half of total income for Americans who are over 65. Okay, interesting. That means the other incomes come from someplace else. Where is it coming from? Oh, earnings, the second largest source of income, contributing about 19% of total income, was for earnings. Interesting. So they gave us this data sheet. I'm going to show you this download. Watch this. Source of income, people 15 years or older by income, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I just want to go to source of income for people 65 and older, all races. So I clicked on this guy, and this is from the Census Bureau, the updated current population survey, which has been, I'm not going to say fixed, but it's better than it was in 2014 when Paterba wrote this white paper that still gets people thinking it's all that a bag of chips. I don't get it, but whatever. All right, let's check this out. All right, so these are all the people they surveyed, 57,000 people, all right, and these are all people over 65 years old. We have 13,590 people over 65 years old who have earnings, all right, be it wages and salaries, self-employment farm income, or non-farm self-employment income. And you can see the bulk is wages and salaries right here, 10% is self-employment. All right, so we scroll down, you can see these are the thresholds here in $2,500 increments, and you can see the people who had, there's only 832 people of the whole 57,000 people who had earnings of earnings. Okay, wages and basically wages and salaries. All right, but we scroll down here to the top threshold there, 100,000. A third of all people, about a third of all people making over 100,000 who are over 65 have earnings. All right, that's interesting to me. Why is that interesting to me? Because my thought process is, what if we got rid of the earnings test or increased the dollars that are not subject to the earnings test, i.e., right now I think it's like $22,000. If you're on Social Security and you make more than $22,000, you will have a portion of your Social Security benefits withheld. All right, now you do get it back, but it's amortized over your lifespan once you hit full retirement age, and that's you never get. Well, I shouldn't say never. You probably won't reclaim all the benefits that were withheld. So basically, if you're under the age of your full retirement age, 67. You really should not work unless you're going to make, $20,000 or something like that. So that disincentivizes people to work. That's just a fact, because if you work and you're under the age of full retirement age, you will get your benefits reduced. It won't be permanent necessarily, but it could be depending on your life expectancy, whatnot. So I said, what if we increase that benefit base, i.e. the earnings test? We say, $50,000 or even $100,000. You can take Social Security early and work as long as you don't make more than $100,000. If you make more than $100,000 and you took Social Security before a certain age, you will lose some benefits. But if you're making less than $100,000 of earned income or self-employment income or farm income, all right, and you're under your full retirement age, you don't get any wages withheld. This would encourage people to work, but while they're taking Social Security, even if they're not their full retirement age. But on the backside of it, though, as we have so many people, a third of the people who are 65 and older making basically all the income from earned income, labor, those are the white-collar professionals, the professors and things of that nature. Those are the people who are probably not in high laborious jobs. Not all of them, I grant you. There'll be some guys who are 72 years old and still digging ditches, I grant you. But I would go on a ledge to say the vast majority of those people are professors, hedge fund managers, researchers, and stuff like that, who are working in air-conditioned cubicles and whatnot, making over $100,000. So what we should do is we should say they can't get their full Social Security until they're 75 years old, something like that. If they're still working, they will have the earnings test apply to them for anything over than $100,000 of earnings up until the age 75. That way, it's kind of like a reversal of increasing the full retirement age. We're increasing the full retirement age for the wealthy, and I say wealthy in this case, making over $100,000 a year of earned income or self-employed income. Those are the people who are 72 years old, professors who don't want to retire, and that's fine. You just won't get your full Social Security benefit until you hit 75 years old if you're still making over $100,000 a year. And if you decide to take Social Security at 70 and you're making over $100,000 a year, you will be subject to a new earnings test. You will lose some of your benefit. And it won't be replaced once you hit a certain age. It's just gone. So what we're doing is we're going to encourage the lower income people to work longer. They can still get Social Security if they want. They can still work longer, and they won't be subject to the earnings test. So they can still get a part-time job. Let's say you're freaking a guy digging ditches your life. Now your back hurts. You're like, I'm just going to go work at, I don't know, changing tires at Walmart. Or I'm going to go work part-time in the library. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'll make $40,000 a year, but I would like to get my Social Security because I don't think I'm going to live beyond 75 years old. Well, we still want that guy to work. We don't want the guy not to work. We don't want to reduce his benefits. That's not good. So we say, no, we're still going to allow you to work, and you still get your full retirement age benefit. You won't be subject, or you're not your full retirement age. You'll still get your benefit that won't be held back because of the earnings test. So you can stop your crappy old job digging ditches, go work in a library, making $50,000, $60,000 a year, and still get your full Social Security benefit. Again, it will be reduced because you're under your full retirement age, but it won't be reduced because of the earnings test. You see what I'm saying? On top of that, if you're some freaking hoity-toity, good time rock and roll plastic banana professor at Harvard, and you're still plugging out research papers at 73 years old, and you're making over $100,000, you can take Social Security, but you will be subject to an earnings test, and it won't be replaced upon hitting that whatever threshold of 75. So we're going to encourage you to do one of two things, either stop working or continue to work, but don't take Social Security to get your full benefit until you hit a certain threshold. All right. Now, we're not doing that to create work like Social Security was initially put into being. It was to create work, get older people out the work and get younger people, the rabble-rousers, into the system. we're not doing that to create work. We're doing that to say, hey, man, you got it pretty good, man. We're essentially increasing the full retirement age of white-collar professionals who are still going to make more than $100,000 from labor, and yet are going to take Social Security. Those people will have their full retirement age increase, essentially, by being subject to the earnings test. I have no idea how much money that would raise. I don't know, but I just see that a third of the people who are 65 and older have earnings. All right, look at that. Now the median earnings is only $39,000, so we'd have to, but that's median for the entirety of these group right here. That's everybody. I have a sneaky suspicion this group right here, $100,000 or over, that is their earnings. A lot of that's going to be their earnings. So even though the median is low, I got a sneaky suspicion for this age group. I bet the median is over $100,000. I bet it's over $100,000. And as such, we're going to encourage those people we're going to increase the retirement age, full retirement age for those people. Now, it's something to think about. I don't know how much that raised, but it's a step. And it can acquiesce the Democrats who want to tax the higher earners, and also acquiesce the Republicans who want to increase the full retirement age, while also allowing for the younger people, 62, 63, who are in laborious jobs, to quit their laborious jobs, take their Social Security without being subject to earnings tests, and get another job as well. Yeah, something to think about. All right, God bless. Let me hear your thoughts, and smash. We'll see you. Smash that like button.